Hello everyone. This is a brief presentation outlining the mechanism and protocols that are in place to avoid any data breach in our organization. We will also look at some of the most important steps of a data breach response plan and the strategies to minimize the risk in case our organization faces any such situation. So, to start with, let's have a general analysis of the threats. We know that a successful cyber attack can cause major cyber damage to any organization. The impact of a security breach can be financial, procedural, reputational, and in some cases, legal, as a result of which the organization may face business interruptions for some time and the process can come to a standstill position. While looking at our organization, I can confidently say that we are at tier 2 of our framework, where we have risk management processes in place. These practices are approved by the management. However, there is a possibility that a few of the practices are not established as a strict policy throughout the organization. The procedures are in place and there is an audit and training mechanism in place too, but it is not fully adopted. Stakeholders are aware of their responsibilities and commitments towards safe work practices. In terms of our current network security and safety, there is a strict policy. It is guarded by the login access controls, signed employee commitments, training and induction opportunities, malware and antivirus applications, which are regularly updated, and there is an audit on these strategies too. Additionally, we have a cybersecurity team responsible for designing, implementing, and reporting on the safety culture and its needs, and to audit the policies and to communicate it to the entire organization. Starting from the top management, all stakeholders, staff, interns, and employees have a role to play in this cybersecurity structure. Let's move to the next step. Our key business assets can be divided into two categories, the logical and the physical assets. All of our servers, computers, laptops, and networking infrastructure is part of our physical asset. We cannot afford any risk to any of these as these are essential for our survival. But on the other hand, we have an equally important area, which is our data, our applications, and intellectual property, without which we cannot perform our daily processes. On a matrix of high, moderate, and low level, all of those risks and threats that may cause our system shutdown or which may cause an identity theft are of high priority and are critical in their nature. Let's pick only one of these risks. And suppose we face a risk of data theft, which is linked to our intellectual property only. This means that our data has been breached and an intruder has access to our precious and vital data, which has been developed over the years and which is linked to government agencies. What can we lose in this situation? In case we have intellectual property data theft, it means that we can lose our copyright material, we can lose public property data, and we can lose our planning and strategical data too. The result can be a temporary shutdown our business and we may of our shutdown, and we may need to notify the breach as per the policy indicated in GDPR. Now let's see how could we avoid this breach in the first place. If we had a data risk treatment plan in place, we could minimize the risk in the first place. Still, we can reduce the risk and we can minimize the damage done to our data. There are a few ways that we need to look at. Number one, we should always keep our data encrypted. Our data should have a backup stored somewhere else so that this can be a way to restart the system until we deal with the breach. Number three, there must be intellectual property data owner who always takes measures for its safety. Number four, the apps must be updated frequently, passwords must be changed, and user trainings must be conducted frequently. Moving to the next step of understanding of how data breach works and what protective and preventative actions can be taken to avoid future breaches. We must invest in buying effective tools to manage access rights to our data. We must provide employees proper permissions, security information and event management programs like SIEM. Software must always be active to oversee security alerts to minimize the attacks. Antivirus and malwares must be in place and updated regularly. While we can keep our prospective measures in place, we need to add data-centric solutions too. These will allow us to tightly control who can read specific files from within the organization. Here, a table is also provided to see who can who in the organization is responsible or accountable or should be consulted and informed about this data breach according to their position. Now we move to the last part of the presentation of creating a step-by-step guideline of incident response plan. We see that as soon as an incident is identified by the system, cybersecurity team picks this abnormality. They prioritize the response and think about minimizing the risk. They prepare a report and then notify the stakeholders. It may require shutting down relevant servers and taking measures to stop the intervention. As there was no personal data at risk, we don't need to inform within 72 hours. Still, this needs to be reported to OAIC within 30 days to assess and investigate before we report it. Last thing to do will be to learn from our mistakes, update incident response plans, find the gaps, and create solutions. I thank you for your time.